Headed out to do a group hunt today. Got asked by a gentleman off the Whites Forum if I wanted to come up and do a hunt up this old house he got permission at, and said he could bring some of his friends. And those guys have been a wealth of information of mine since the day that I started using the Whites V3i. Everybody on that Whites Forum is just great. I mean, they help you out anytime you need help, and it's great to share your finds and experiences and just anything and everything on there. But I'm gonna finally get to meet them in person. And if we find something, wonderful. If we don't find anything great, still it's wonderful. It's going to be a great day. Weather's going to be perfect and a really good experience. We're almost there, so I'll let you meet them once we get in there. Well, here we are. We're at a 1827 plus or minus built home. This home also shows up on an 1857 and then I think it's an 1889 Atlas. Down the road from here, there was a church, a graveyard, a blacksmith shop, and quite a bit of activity historically in this area. This hunt has actually been put on by off of the Whites Forum. A gentleman by the name goes by the handle name of Don Pot, which is here. Here's Don. And then we asked some other people to come out. Some guys weren't able to come. I was able to. And then we got our Chalker here, and he's able to head out. He's came a long way, so hopefully we find some good stuff. And we're gonna hunt this place and see what we can find. The homeowner is very nice to let us come out here today. We're gonna be real sensitive to the yard and use dig cloths and that kind of stuff. But if we turn up anything, she's more than welcome to keep it. And we're just gonna try to make a day out of it. So here we go. Here's the home. It's a really awesome home. 2-story, looks really predominant. A lot of activity here. The yard's huge. You know, we got area over there. You can see we're all parked there, and there's Don and Rodney there beside that old barn. It's on the Atlas, it still showed that barn, and on across the road here, you see on top of that knoll there was also a house over there, which we don't have permission to go there. We're just going to focus here today. And like always, I'm probably going to start in the front yard. And being that this is a new site to me, I don't really know any history about it. You know, this house here, you know, this is probably an addition. It looks like, you know, the front of this house, if you can see that. You got this central part here. Some of these homes were called double pin. You know, you'll have a chimney on this side and one on the other side, so that the family can be divided up. Sometimes winter, sometimes the whole house was used in the summer, but only half of it is used in the winter. So looking at foundations, you can see that one's concrete, which, you know, that's newer, so we know that that's an addition. So we lost a little bit of yard there. Looks like this little part that sticks out here, which is just like a bay window area, that's new. But there we go. See that there? We got sandstone. So that sandstone area goes up to that brick, which has actually been added, and then that's concrete again. So the front part, that stoop that sticks out, is new. The brick's new. You know, that chimney was put in, or replaced probably, and then sandstone. So that's that central part of the house. I'm gonna back up here. You can see that portion is elongated going away from me back to where the cars are parked when I showed you earlier. That's an addition. That little piece was added on. Obviously, we can see all this. So the main home is right there. That's where we're going to focus. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to check and see what we have on EMI. All I've done is turn on my machine. I'm going to hit the trigger so that I can get it into search mode. I'm not in any program. I'm in wherever I left off last time I was hunting. So right now, I'm going to pull the pinpoint trigger. Actually, I'm going to get the coil so it's almost perpendicular to the ground. Pull the trigger, and I'm gonna start searching around, see what I get. Right now I'm not hearing anything. It's on 0. All the bars are just dead. Right now it's a lot better than what I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna get away from the camera stand there. I'm not picking up anything, which is awesome. I'm just gonna sit here and see if this pops, so you can see it. Nothing happened. I'm gonna pull the trigger. See the bars are dead. You know, a little bit of something going on there, but it's hardly audible in my headphones, so we're good to go there. So EMI check's fine. Minerals, you can do the ground probe. I don't typically do the ground probe. The ground probe is whenever you find a spot on the ground, there's nothing there, and you go into something. I don't even remember because I have it wrote down in my books. But typically when I'm hunting, when I'm swinging it, it's really chatty in the ground, and it sounds like I got a really good target in the ground. And if I pull my pinpoint trigger, and there's nothing underneath of it because it's all metal channel in the pinpoint, then I know there's a lot of minerals. I might bring my filters back up. That's how I do it. It doesn't mean it's the way you should do it, but typically I do not do ground probe. I'm still in my general area where I typically hunt here in the state of Ohio, and I'm going to assume, since there's no farming activity right where this house is, where they're putting down a lot of fertilizer and things like that, there's no iron steel mills anywhere, just anything that adds to the metal content or mineralization in the ground, that this is fairly low on mineralization. So I'm going to run how I typically usually do, and we'll go over that. Here we go on settings. I am using the 13-inch DD Ultimate coil today with the Whites V3i, and we're going to go into, I'm going to use the 10-inch double D setting for this loop, since there isn't a Ultimate D selection. I could use the Super 12 also, but I'm going to stick with the double D. Expert menu. I guess we're in discrimination. On my select, or on my VDI acceptance, I'm going to leave it where it's at. I'm down to +6. +6 I'm going to see and hear all the way up to +95. +5 down to -95. You can see it doesn't have an X in it. That means, and I have it set so I don't hear that, but I will see it. But I'm rejecting those. I don't want to have anything to do with those. Today we're hoping to find some cool stuff we can give the landowner and to thank her for letting us come out today. The RX game, I just did that EMI check. I'm going to start at 13, see how that runs. It seemed really stable. This is what I was testing in when I was pinpointing and spinning around. TX boost off, discrimination, sensitivity. I'm going to push 90. Since I am close to home, I'm going to say that's fairly, we'll start at 88, work it up as we go. All metal staying at 70. The audio, search audio, I'm going to run mix mode for a little bit. If it's really trashy, I'm going to take that off just because it gets really loud and drives me nuts. Frequencies, 3 frequency. Ground tracking is always lock for me. And if you do run lock on ground tracking, ground balance very frequently. Search, 7.5 bandpass. Yeah, we're going to do bandpass. High pass deals with EMI. Bandpass is minerals. I'm going to just say, since my EMI is real low, I'm going to go into bandpass to help out with minerals if there are any that does exist in the area. 60, recovery delay. I don't know what this site's like yet. 60 is a good medium. Sometimes I'll go up to 80 if it's not a lot of targets in the ground where it can think in between each target. And I might go down to 40 if there's quite a few targets in the ground. And that's pretty much it. Ground balance, get going. I'm a little ways out from the house. Started in the front yard, and now I'm working down the side yard. Here's a pretty good signal here. See if you can hear and see this without the glare getting you. I'm gonna pinpoint. It's real small, which is always a good sign. Size is really important. 4 3/4 deep. 70, 82, some 60s in there. Right there. Let's see what we got down in here. The size of it's right, which is great. The VDI is really good. And the depth's reading, and you can see the grass is a little high, so it might be 3 inches, you know, depending on how hard I was pushing down into that grass. Still in the hole. It's reading 5 3/4 there, right in the middle, and it's still giving me real high VDI. That's a pretty good sign. But it's not my depth reading on this coil, I'm used to trusting that 10-inch DD depth. This could be something a little bit bigger on further down there. I've been digging forever on this one, so I'm going to show you what's down in here. You can see I've got through this monstrosity of roots down in here. It's terrible. You can see way down in there, you got something. I don't think that's the edge of a coin. See that little brown piece to the left there? I think that's a piece of it too, but I'm gonna get that out of there just to see. You know, I'm gonna show you how deep this is. This is a regular fleshy digger, and that's the top of the dirt. There. So that's pretty deep. It is the terrible Beanie Weenie can, the ultimate metal detector target that you don't want. So I just got a Beanie Weenie can about 12-14 inches out of the ground. And if there's anything else out here that would be, say, a silver coin from 1880, it's going to be below that, and I'm going to have a hard time getting to that. So I'm gonna move to another part of this yard and see if I get the same kind of targets and just keep moving around until I get in some of that older dirt. This dirt's pretty tan, maybe came out of a field. It doesn't have a lot of organic material in it. Organic material, when it's in the dirt, will be real dark, black, stuff like that. It doesn't really stick together as much, not a lot of clay in it. So I'm always hunting for that to get to some of my older targets. So we'll move on. Hopefully no more Beanie Weenie cans. Don's been back behind the barn. He found some of this, looks like hand forged hook of some sort. Rodney here's getting into the Hot Wheels here, which we always, all of us find. So I looked at the bottom of the one on the right, it's a Barracuda, and the one on the left, I don't know what that is, but at least we're getting into something here. Got some plastic on these, so they're not all that old, but at least we're finding undisturbed ground. Pretty cool car, I like to have the real one. Got a pretty responsive target here. I have switched to the single frequency 2.5 all silver or deep silver program, and just so I can deal with EMI, I'm closer to the power lines. It's quite a bit of EMI out here. You can see it's 48, 49. It's acting like something fairly big. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna dig it. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna test out the White's TRX pinpointer. Rodney let me borrow it just to test it out for this dig, I guess. See how it works. I've wanted one for a while, and I just haven't ever got the money. I've been trying to buy some coils for my MX Sport. Got all the D-Tech extra coils. I don't have the big one yet, but I've been trying to get those as well. There's only so much money to go around, so I'm sure you all can relate to that. Man, that thing actually works pretty good. It feels like it. Test it with my ring. I have a ring on. So it'll pick up. I like it because it's not picking up right there. See, my ring's located there. And I can actually pinpoint the thing, you know, as its name is, where them other Garrett's ones I'm using, if it's on the sidewall right there and you're pointing right there and it's singing like that, you think it's there, but it's really there. I kind of like that. See it? Oh, terrible. It's the other side of the Beanie Weenie can. I'm like probably 200 yards from where I found that Beanie Weenie can. But at least now I have the lid, huh? Terrible. Well, one good thing is I got to use this. That's pretty awesome. Rodney's been over here. He found a penny and some Hot Wheels. Gonna take a look at his DX1 pinpointer. They quit making these things. Rodney, let's see your DX1 here. I've been using his TRX pinpointer, and he's got this set up here. They don't make these anymore, but man, everybody that uses metal detectors wish they did. But that's a really good contraption that you pull this off the top, and then you can actually pinpoint in the hole and hear it through your headphones, through the machine. So it's a pretty cool setup. He's got a really well-built rig. He's got camera mounts and extra battery cells and great big 13-inch on there too. So I learned all my stuff from this guy and everybody else on White's Forum. Don's over the hill. We'll catch up with him here in a little bit. We gotta find something cool. So far we got Hot Wheels and Beanie Weenie cans and all kinds of different stuff. Don got that hook. Got a signal here in the 40s I'm gonna dig. If you look out beyond me there, you'll see Rodney. So you'll have two metal detectors in this same video clip here. This one doesn't seem to be very deep. It's only showing about 3-4 inches. It's really loud. So it's probably another Beanie Weenie can. Excuse me. And it's another lid. Somebody really liked those things.
Okay, I got silver. Got a dime.
Nice. Let me, I'll just put my stuff down and head your way. Rodney's on the silver, so let's head that way. Still in the hole?
Yep, right there in the plug.
Oh yeah, look at that. Here is that.
I think it's a 63.
Can't zoom in, I got a glove on. Oh, it is. Just made it. 63. Let's pop it. You want water? Or to clean it off?
Yeah, sure.
I got a bottle somewhere in here. There you go. It doesn't spray the best. Oh yeah, 63. It's pretty good shape.
Man, not bad.
Let's hope somebody get into some silver soon. Good phone. What was it reading in?
86.
86,
Yeah.
something like that. So that's pretty hot. Pretty deep too.
Might be
What,
something else in there.
5 inches or so, and then you add the grass on there. So yeah, maybe you got a little coin spill or something. You find something else in there. Don, you got anything yet? Nothing. Yep. That's the same thing I have. Not a whole lot.
One down.
Yep. You find some
down
more,
today.
man. Oh, look at that. That's a pretty cool spur.
Got the other piece here. I'm the one that broke it, prying it out of the ground when I was prying
Oh,
prying
no.
my plug.
Yep, that happens, but still. Man, that's pretty awesome.
That's a nice little toy there. It's kind of well made.
Yeah. Got any markings on it? I guess not.
Not that I can see.
It's decorative though. Okay, that's pinpointed at 4 3/4. 52, 53. It's a key. Looks like to a mailbox. This looks like a regular old key. Fitchburg, Massachusetts Independence Lock Company for General Motor Cars. Anybody know what that went to? We got Don up there. He's our cook for today, our chef, and he's making us some hamburgers and hot dogs. Stop for drinks and stuff. There's Rodney. He's headed home. Right there, 4.5 inches pressed against the ground. Or at least we're up in the 50s now. What's that? It looks like one of those dairy tags. Let's take a look at this. This is a little older. When I said dairy before, I really meant milk tag. It does have like a gold gilt on it. It used to have some sort of a little stub. You can see right there where it's real bright. That came off when I was rubbing on it. It's right there at 5 inches. Let me try to block the glare. There you go. You see the nice builds over there in the green on the right. Real good numbers. Those are real good. So let's get down there and find our first coin of the day, hopefully. Let's see if this is in the plug or in the hole. It's not in the hole. You can see the numbers now, hopefully. It's changed a little bit. There's something. It's a coin. What do you think that is? Looks like a penny. Little trick. Take a little oil off your face and put it on there. I've learned that from Aqua Chigger. Oh, it's if I can get it to focus. If you can see that, it's 1959. It sounds fairly deep. 5 3/4. Guess it's breaking a little bit, but I'm gonna dig it anyway. It's a lot of low VDIs, but every once in a while that piece of foil is not a piece of foil. I don't know what that is. Let's take a look at it. Kind of had my heart going there for a second when I saw that laying in the dirt. That looks like a Tomback button. At least we're getting back in some age there. It does have some writing on there if you can see that. Whether you can see the shank smashed down. But that's a pretty old little button. Definitely 1800s. So it's a pretty neat find. It's only 3.5 inches. See the 57, the 72, all green. Nice and strong. Not real deep. I'd like to get a large cent. Oh, it's not even, it's nothing. It's something. It's not a penny. What do you think that is? It's got some stuff on the outsides. I don't know what that is. My first one, whatever it is. Something different. Never know. Could have been anything. That looks a little bit more decorative, maybe the outside edge. There's 2.5 inches right there. and it's reading 64. Let me try to block it. My arm. See it? 64, 4 inches. Actually, somewhat cool. You know what? That is a lock off the side of a rifle. I'm about 99.99% sure. This is where you would pull the lock back. They're always on the right hand side. See that hole there? Let me get her. Well, that's the part that would go in. You cock the hammer back here, and then this is where the nipple would be. The hammer would come down. This is a side plate. There'd be a screw there and a screw there to hold it to the gun. Let's go see what Don's digging down here.
I don't know. I dug the plug and can't find anything. So.
Can't find it. Yeah. Go ahead, swing. Sounds like it's giving you a real high 93, 94, 95. Is that right on the readout?
Yeah.
And then it's canceling out some. It sounds like iron. We can get down in there and check it out. Here's your headphones.
I don't think it's anything.
Let's get down here and look. You never know. Make sure this thing's working. It's over here in this corner. Let me try out that White's digger. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I've never tried one of them.
Well, mine is bent.
That's all right. It happens. Kind of sounds like iron, but you never know. This is one of the parts of the yard that wasn't disturbed as bad as the rest. There's a big rock down in there. Oh, I see it.
What is it?
It's that pesky old square now. Looks like a rose head now. Got the big head on it. They do that. That's why I named myself Square Nail Squirrel. Because them old rusty nails, especially the ones with the big heads like that, always sound like something nice. You gonna keep it?
No.
I'll keep it.
All right.
It's got a real good signal on it. I know it jumps down a little bit, but I'm seeing some 80s in there, and that always makes me happy. Might be. Oh, what is that? See it? That is a really odd size. What do you think that is? It's got Massachusetts on it. At least I think that's Massachusetts. Got a Pioneer. I just found a piece of his gun, so. He does have a rifle, that's why I said that. Flintlock rifle there. It does, I don't know what material this is made out of. It may be silver. And I'm sure that's not Olorado. There's probably a C there somewhere. Or Colorado. There. Colorado, States of the Union. Well, we ate a couple hot dogs, had some pretty good conversations, but like every good digger, there's always that last hole you're gonna dig, but you always dig another one. So we're gonna put another hour in, see what we can find, and then head on out. Just make an absolute full day out of this. Decided to spend my last hour way down in the back. Don's been back here all day, kind of working around this area. You can see behind me. You can see him still. I think you can see him back up the hill. He's to the back side of my truck back there. Hunting around, see if you can find some stuff. Rodney was up there earlier in that same area, and he found, you know, a lot of old Matchbox cars and silver coin and things like that. So he's just gonna take another stab at that area. I moved all the way in the back. There's used to be a real big farm. I think it was 100 acres, and there's a pond back here. I think it was built, they think, somewhere in the 50s. We were gonna go fishing there today. I brought my poles, or actually everybody did, and but we just stuck the metal detector, a little dirt fish instead of fish fishing, I guess you'd call it. I had a 72 signal, and hopefully that doesn't autofocus. And since it seems somewhat smaller than a lot of the stuff I've been digging, I just dug another one of these and just big pieces of aluminum. I didn't videotape them, but this one's seeming to be so far something smaller. Probably just looking at the back of my head, I can't tell. Man, I'm like the Beanie Weenie king today. Yeah, another piece of Beanie Weenie can. Man, somebody kept Beanie Weenie in business. I guess it could be something else, but I'm gonna call them Beanie Weenies. What'd you end up getting? Oh yeah, little bulldozer.
Yeah.
And some kind of cog.
Some kind of gear, yeah.
Huh. That's pretty cool. I don't know, is that a bulldozer? Yeah, I guess it is a bulldozer. That's all metal. I guess the wheels are too. Yep. That's pretty cool. I don't know who that one's made by. That's pretty slick. Well, that's it for this hunt. We had a really long day out there. Rodney had to leave early, had some prior engagements, and me and Dawn stuck around till about the sun going down. We got out there pretty early too. And it turned out to be a really good day. It's great to meet everybody. And didn't find anything spectacular, but we did find some interesting items. As still, you don't always have to find stuff to have a really good time metal detecting. Just sharing the time together and meeting people, and talking about settings and technique and life and just whatever. Had a lot of good conversations out there today. It just makes for a really good day. So, until next time, thanks for watching.